I'm going to show you this one cheat code move on your serve that if you use it, you'll have more power, spin, control, and consistency. And if you don't, well, good luck. This is a new way of looking at a fundamental move that a lot of players aren't hitting, and this is the cause of so much serve frustration. I've even used this same exact move on my serve, and it's added more power and control and consistency to my serve without adding a ton of extra effort. And make sure you watch all the way to the end, because at the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can get access to a free serve course. So if you've had trouble on your serve, I'll walk you through everything you need to know to improve your serve and take it to the next level. The move you want to do is have your shoulder in this position. The biggest thing is you're solving for the wrong problem. In general, when we very first start playing tennis, we start serving like this. We think about the strings and making sure that the strings can look at our target, just like this. It's the easiest way to start serving, but it does a couple things that hurt you later on in your tennis career. Meaning that if you want more power, you think, okay, I need to rotate. And it gets my shoulders rotating on this nice even plane here. And you're saying, what's wrong with that, Kevin? Well, here's the problem with it. When you want to start serving bigger and more consistent, you need spin. You need spin to create margin and safety and actually bring the ball down to the court. But with this grip, the way it is and the way my shoulders are set up, guess what? You only have one option. The strings can only go through the court. They can't go through and brush. It's really awkward. And so what happens? You go to the internet, of course, or you go take a tennis lesson and the coach says, what? You need to switch your grip. You need a continental grip. And they put you in a continental grip just like this. And you look at it and go, how the heck am I supposed to get the ball to go where I want? Because here's the problem. As I line up, where are my strings facing? It's facing sideways. So you kind of figure, okay, I need to get it here, but here's the problem. Look how awkward that feels. And so this is why most players struggle so much with their serve, or they go to a waiter's tray or switch the grip. They start with the continental and they go through this motion, and right around here, their brain goes, this isn't gonna work. So they flip the grip here to get the racket face facing towards the target they want. The problem is we haven't solved for the right problem, because you do need a continental grip or something very close to it. Because what the continental grip allows you to do is create spin and penetration at the same time, where a pancake or kind of forehand grip doesn't. It only allows for one thing, which is penetration. And that's why your serve is limited. And that's why you can't get the power you're looking for. You can't get the spin, and you lose control because you're just hitting through the ball really flat. And so let's get to the right problem to solve. Let's now use the continental grip for a second. And then let's get in our service stance and think, how am I going to have my racket just like this? Even if I hold it up like this is an awkward feeling, okay? So the problem is we're still thinking about how we used to start serving. We served like this, and now you put me on the continental grip, and then if you're not changing your grip, you're like this, and this is really awkward. And so how will we do this? Let me hold my arm all the way out to the side now. And now my racket can go through, and it can brush, and it can do both at the same time. So if you just take your racket and do this action here, come from the side, you can go through as much as you want by just having the arm pronate forward, or you can brush, okay? But then you're like, Kevin, there's a problem. I'm not gonna hit my serve there. You're right, you're not. So the adjustment you need to make is this. You need to put everything on the side. So now you're looking up this way, and all the best pros do this. When you watch them go through their serve, boom, they're in this position, not this position. And just to make sure you're clear, look how my shoulders are very leveled here, okay? And now look how it's tilted. It's almost like this is a shelf and my head's something on it that's gonna slide off. It gets you in this idea of looking up at your racket from the side instead of looking straight up. You wanna achieve this. Now, if you don't believe me, take a look at these pros.
Now we're gonna take a look at some of the best men's tennis serves in the top 10 right now. First, we're gonna look at Carlos Alcaraz. And you can see when he gets in the position, look at his shoulder angle right here with his head on the side, making sure he's looking up at contact. Now we're looking at Rune, same thing. Keeps the shoulder position, head on the side, looking up the contact. If we look at Rublev, same position, shoulder on the side, reaching up to contact. Now we're taking a look at Yannick Sinner. Same position, and you'll see the pattern emerge that all the pros use this position. We could look at Ben Shelton. Great position here, head on the side, looking up at contact. Let's look at Sabalenka on the ladies' side. You can see it from the back, same position, reaching up towards contact. And then finally, let's finish out with Serena Williams, one of the best female servers in the game. And you can see how her head's on the side, and she has that angle. This pattern is key to having a great serve.
Now that you see exactly how all the pros are on the side with this angle, you understand what it does. When I'm at this angle now, I can get my racket face looking at my contact. I can drive through the ball and create spin. With this grip now, my old grip that I'm using doesn't make any sense because now my strings are looking up. And this is why you need that continental grip or something close to it that allows your strings to look forward and allow penetration and brush. Now that you understand this, let's go do some drills so you can start using this new shoulder position, cheek position, to take your serve to the next level. First drill you want to do is simply do a side bend. And so what I mean by this, I want you to put your hands on top of your head, you don't need your racket, and bend, having your dominant side, I'm a right-handed player, my dominant side going towards the sky. So it looks like this. And while you're bending, just look up. And so you're just gonna bend where your head's slightly on the side. It's not gonna be completely on the side, that'd be hard. Just slightly on the side. And the reason why we have our hands on our head, because it's really easy. If I just said lift your elbow, you could lift your elbow, but notice how my shoulders and my waist didn't do anything. So we wanna have this nice side bend. That's the very first drill. The next drill is we wanna do a double-sided bend. And this will make sense once we go through our whole serve motion. So what we're gonna do is now go to our non-dominant side, then the dominant side. So I'm gonna go here, that's my non-dominant side, to my dominant side. Non-dominant to dominant, okay? And practice this bend, okay? So that's the thing, I want you to keep that in mind. Now we're gonna go grab your racket. So what I'm gonna do with my racket is simply have my arm completely straight out, just like we were doing before, and I'm gonna bend my elbow. Okay, notice how my elbow is leveled here. So I'm gonna have my arm straight out, my racket's up in a continental grip, bend the elbow. Now from here, I'm just gonna turn like I'm serving. I'll do a couple later facing the court, but from this position, what I want you to do is do that first side bend. So it puts you in this position, okay, with my racket here. Now, I love this position because it actually helps you do your racket drop. That's just a bonus. So if I'm here, I'm gonna bend and do that side bend. Notice how my racket kind of dropped without me doing that much. Now there is a little bit more to the racket drop, but this is all we want to start practicing right now. So from here, the next part of it is do the side bend and then extend the arm towards contact. The contact's going to be over your hitting arm shoulder right here. And so we're going to practice that again. Side bend, contact, okay? And so now you're starting to get ready for the full motion. Now, I'm gonna do this from this angle before I start serving to the court, so you can see this from this angle, and pretend that I'm actually serving this way. So I'm gonna have my arm up here, my racket was straight, I'm gonna bend my elbow with my arm here. I'm gonna do my very first bend to my non-dominant side, boom, okay? And now I'm gonna do the second bend, boom, to my dominant side. And now, doesn't this look familiar? This is where my arm was up and I can then extend it. And so practice this action of going bend, bend, and bend, bend. And so it starts to smooth itself out. So as you start taking the racket up, boom, I'm bending. And then when I start pulling the shoulder by rotating this way, I can pull it this way. And that's what you're training your shoulder to do. You're going from having your shoulders rotate on this plane to now having my shoulders rotate from here to here, and that's what you want. So as you go through your motion here, boom, boom. Now you might be asking one quick question, Kevin, does it matter? There's so many different ways of taking the racket up. I mean, I could go straight up, I can go around, I can do the full, it doesn't matter. From looking at like players like Curious who keeps the racket down, guess what's gonna happen? He's bending here, and then watch what happens, boom, boom. The rotation is the same, meaning that the shoulder is gonna rotate from here to here. And that's the key to start adding more power because you can penetrate the ball, more control and consistency because you can brush the ball, and more control because you'll be able to control which side of the racket you're gonna hit. So now, let me show you how it looks with the full motion. If I start to rotate and have it on the side, I can now start to create more racketed speed through the ball because I'm now using my shoulders to get into the right position. This is what I think of as the cheat move. If you get this down, everything else starts to fall into place. But if you want to learn how to take your serve to the next level, going from A to Z, make sure you check out the link in the description because I link you to a free serve course. You don't have to do anything but click the link, show up, watch the course, and get better. Now, there's one more thing you got to understand because having a great serve is super important to tennis. It's one of the most important shots in tennis. But what can combo and make your serve even better is something called a serve plus one. And the reason why this is important is because 67% of points are won within the first 4 strikes of the ball. But guess what? You only get 2 of them. That means your serve and the next ball is plus 1. So what we want to start doing is focusing on when we serve, thinking about what we're gonna hit next, which I think should be a forehand. And if you wanna learn how to take your forehand to the next level, go watch this video.